Welcome to the Heavy Sweater Podcast. My name is John King. If this is your first time listening, this is the Heavy Sweater Podcast, a deep dive into the beginnings of Australian musicians and bands of the heavy variety. And this week's guest, we have Monique Pym of Reliqa, killer fucking band from Sydney, progressive metal, fucking so sick. She's a great vocalist. The latest single, The Bearer of Bad News, is available wherever you listen to music, as well as previous singles like Mr. Magic, and they have a full-length album as well, available on all streaming services. It's a great episode, really like natural conversation, which was fucking sick. It's kind of hard to do them over Zoom like that and be like super on, I guess, was the only way I can describe it. Like, yeah. But yeah, she's fucking cool. She's a really, really fucking cool person and a really cool band. And yeah, go check them out wherever you fucking listen to music. They'll be playing a bunch of shows, which I'll be promoting at the end of this fucking episode. So if you are anywhere near these shows, go check them out and go check out all the other bands they're playing with. And I'm sure you've heard of the shows. You most certainly have heard of the shows that they're going to be playing in this year. Speaking of this year, 2022, let's fucking get it, boy. Yeah, I don't know how everybody else looks at December, but for me, my birthday's in December, so I usually spend that day being like, holy fuck, I'm getting so old and I've accomplished nothing. I don't know if that's just me, but like that sort of back end of the year really fucking rattles me. Especially considering someone that like for a long time I looked at as kind of like sort of a role model passed a year ago, December 26th, and that's the fucking day after Christmas, and then there's Christmas and New Year's, and like, holy fuck, what's the new year gonna be like? It's just all hectic. But yeah, a year ago, John Huber died, and that was a fucking huge thing for me. Someone I kind of looked up to as like a man to aspire to be, which is kind of cool. So yeah, 2022 is kind of scary because I'm 28 at the end of this year. And that scares the fucking shit out of me. But yeah, so new things coming for Shokan, new things coming for the podcast. I've moved house in fucking this month. As of recording this, it's still December. But moved house unexpectedly. And yeah, the stress just never ends, hey? Like, it's pretty fucking wild. Anyway, thank you for listening to the podcast. We'll get straight into the episode with Monique Pym of Reliqa. So with all that being said, this one in particular goes out to Big Brody Lee, John Huber. It's Sunday, and you know what that means. Hey, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. I'm doing pretty good. Vaxxed, so I'm sick.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, because up
Good
here you
call.
can't play shows without being vaccinated.
Good. Well, I think
Yeah.
that's the case for where we are too. What, you're
Okay,
in
sick.
Brisbane?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think it's
now
the
I think
same
like
here too.
yeah, they put like the date on it like the 17th. Like if you're not vaxxed, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
it's I think it's a solid choice.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
like I think I spoke to somebody on one of these once before about like how rough it would be if somebody got COVID and spread it like crazy at a hardcore show or like at a heavy show.
Yeah, no, it's just I think that it's common sense to want to keep the community safe regardless
Yeah.
of how badass you want your band to appear. I think
Yeah.
like it's just
Yeah.
kind of I don't know, you owe the industry a favor, like
Yeah.
to keep them not a favor necessarily. You owe them safety and protection, and like I think it's just a professional thing to do. So yeah, I'm all about it.
If you're anti-vax, you're a fucking poser.
Yeah, 100%.
Sick. Well,
Right
we'll get
on.
into like the beginnings of like your start in heavy music, and like, do you remember at all like the first heavy-ish band you remember hearing?
I actually do. Good question.
Fuck yeah, sick.
Pretty okay. So there were two, like, I guess you could like say heavy songs that my older brother used to listen to.
Okay.
I don't know. This is back in the days where we had one computer in the house and we had to share it. And
ADSL dial up.
Yeah, pretty much. It was one of those big block, like big like yellow white block computers with Windows Vista or whatever. And he would use LimeWire, and the two songs that I'm talking about, one of them was Falling Down by Atreyu.
Oh, whoa.
And yeah, loved it. And then the other one was it was a Slipknot song. Before I Forget. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Those are the two songs that I have the earliest memories of when it comes to listening to heavy music. Then I know that we had we're not talking like super heavy here, but we had a Paramore live album. I think it was Riot Live in Chicago.
Sick. Oh yes.
Yeah, such a good record. We had that on CD, and we would listen to it in the car all the time.
That's so sick.
That was another one. I remember. This is funny. I hope we're not diving down a rabbit hole too much here, but
no.
I remember when I was quite young. I got my first mobile phone. It was like this little Nokia flip phone. Amazing, loved it. And Misery Business, the live version. I used to love that one in particular. So I remember telling everyone in the car to be quiet, because I wanted to record it to make it my ringtone.
Always. I did that all the time.
I was almost all the way through, and then I think my brother messed it up, and I was like, damn it, like, fuck you. Oh my God. So sick. As profane as a I don't know, 11, 12-year-old can be, really.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. Do you remember in like the old Paramore videos, they always had like that one Nokia that was like a slide Nokia, and it was white and red?
Yeah.
I got one of those. So. Purely because of the Paramore videos.
Oh, that's incredible.
I bet so
like,
sick.
I mean, I wouldn't have just been jealous of you back then. I'm jealous of you now.
Yeah, I'm bummed I don't have it anymore, because it also came with like two songs were like embedded in the phone, and one of them was This Heart Attack by Faker.
Oh, love that.
And the other one was Spray on Pants by Kiss Chasey.
Oh, excellent choices. Those are so good.
Like they were just on the phone. Like I didn't put them on there. They came on the phone. I was like, this phone is so sick.
I love that. That's like doing what U2 did for everyone's like Apple Music way before U2 even did it. Yeah, in a good way.
Shit you want instead of like a bad album.
Just a whole ass album. Yeah.
That's sick. Cool. So Slipknot, Atreyu, Paramore, they're the foundation of like the heavies for you.
Yeah, and then I probably add Disturbed to that list as well.
Oh, sick.
And System of a Down. Oh my God, I could keep going. No,
new metal as fuck.
Yeah. System of a Down. Because I recently just bought the Toxicity album on vinyl.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that's what it's called, right? Far out. I must sound like such a poser. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's like the Hollywood sign.
The album with Toxicity on it.
Yeah.
Nah. I really do love that album. I don't necessarily like refer to it by name all the time, but bought it on vinyl. And then I told my brother, like, hey, you introduced me to this. Did you know that? And he was like, oh, you're welcome, I guess. And Breaking Benjamin. Okay, that's it. That's my collection. So good. That's my foundations of heavy Monique.
Sick. That's so sick. Cool. And then from there, you go digging on your own to find heavy music.
Much. Yeah, cool. Well, myself and the band, like we all went to high school together. So once I hit high school, and like the age 13, age 14, you're sort of starting to uncover yourself and what you really like, not just what your friends like and stuff. And I think we all really helped each other discover that sort of thing. I have this one vivid memory actually. So I wasn't fully immersed into heavy music myself, not at least until I met like Miles and Brandon, for example. Who are like our band members. And our now bassist Miles, I remember as I was becoming his friend, we had one of those school event type things, and I don't know, we were just sitting together and just chatting shit, and we got out a headphone splitter, You know,
Okay.
those headphone splitters where you can chuck in your little earphones and all listen to albums together. It was the best thing. I still have one of those. They're so
that's
good.
so sick. Because when I was like starting high school, it was one person had one and the other person had the other, and you were listening to like the pans differently.
Yeah. Look, we would do that too, but I mean, we were getting real bougie when we would whip out the headphone splitter. But I remember we were listening to like Slipknot and Meshuggah and a bunch of, and Korn and a bunch of real greasy like 2000s metal. I don't know, I was just like, there's some shine to this. And I think I started out with kind of the softer side of the heavy bands, if that makes sense. I mean, Breaking Benjamin is easy because they've got pretty much their music is really
clean vocals.
Yeah, it's very accessible. So that was one of the first ones I really immersed myself into. And I don't know, thinking about Vermilion Part 2 and Snuff from Slipknot, getting into those sorts of things and like, wow, this is really powerful stuff. And I still love those songs to this day.
They're bangers.
I think I would call that sort of a gateway into getting into, you know, a bit of the heavier side of things. And I guess fast forward and I've really come into my own taste, and I still listen to heavy music on the daily.
Sick. Awesome. That's rad that like those were like your gateway bands, like the softer side of like pretty notoriously heavy bands.
Pretty much, like Slipknot. And I don't think I'm unique in that sense. Like I think it's a really accessible way to get into some of this incredibly emotionally charged, rage-filled music, starting out with the kind of more personal ones, which I mean, if anything, that's a bit of a gateway right into the psyche of these bands, and these people who are writing lyrics, Corey Taylor, etc. And I think you just get a bit of a hunger after that. You're like, what else has this person got to offer? And you start, and because, you know, when you're a teenager and you just got hormones raging and all that fun stuff,
full of angst and shit,
you want something you can relate to, and you want an outlet. And I found like nothing better. I mean, that's why I'm pursuing it still to this day. I found nothing better than the outlet that like heavy music and just music in general can give.
Yeah, that's so sick. I think like that's easily forgotten, that like as a kid you're just looking for your outlet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think everyone's finding something that they personally can relate to, or that just, I don't know, just hits a nerve, just feels good, just matches everything that's going on in your head, or even completely the opposite, just something that you can escape into. I think that we all have our own individual things. And I mean, I'm not exclusively a heavy listener, like by any means. I think that's part of how our music is quite diverse, because it comes from a lot of different places. I mean, along with these heavy bands that I was starting to discover in high school, like one of my favorite bands, the band's closest to my heart, is Coldplay.
Okay.
I mean, I know that a whole lot of the listeners out there are probably cringing right now, but hear me out. Like,
Yellow's a banger.
It's exactly, oh yeah, hell yeah. It's exactly the kind of thing I was just talking about. Everyone wants something that they can relate to or they can escape into. Yeah. And they just became that thing for me. And they really, I don't know, like, I've got a really close relationship with my mom, and she loves them a lot. And my first concert experience was Coldplay with her, seated up in the nosebleed section, and just having the best time in my Coldplay shirt, two sizes too big for me. And like, it's just healthy, you know. It's a healthy dose of absolutely loving music and what it makes, like what kind of emotions it can bring out.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like, I think a lot of people look at those sorts of bands that people listen to as like guilty pleasures, but like if it's something you genuinely enjoy, there's no point in feeling guilty about it. Like,
that is right.
You can't listen to heavy music every day, constantly, from the second you wake up to the second you go to sleep. You'll be burnt out.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I think that what you just said about the whole guilty pleasure thing, personally, the further I grow into my adulthood, the more I realize that guilty pleasures shouldn't, that's an oxymoron. That shouldn't exist. Like if it's something that feels good and brings you joy in this meaningless, scary world, then by all means flaunt the hell out of it. I don't know. I don't get into the habit of I don't know, judging people's music taste too much anymore. And that's not because I don't like I love a laugh every now and then, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, like my music taste is cringe as hell. Who am I to like to tell someone else that their taste is cringe? I just wear it on my sleeve these days, and I'm really glad to see that other people are doing the same.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's sick. Like people are just branching out because, like, I don't know about when you were younger, but when I was younger, if you listen to heavy music, you were a fucking loser, straight up, and it was all about listening to pop music. And now, like, people try and pretend to look back on it being like, oh, I remember this emo band. It's like, no, you don't like that because you bullied me about that. So don't pretend.
how the tables have turned, right?
Yeah. I will still listen to The Used any chance I get. So no one's talking shit to me about emo music.
Yeah, 100%. No, I definitely relate to that.
Yeah. Cool. And then you guys, like you said, you guys started in high school. That's insane that a band that started in high school is still going now, because every high school band I was ever in didn't do anything and everybody pretended they could play instruments other than me.
Oh, well, I mean, it's funny because I didn't realize how unique a scenario that was until I guess I started talking to other people, and they're like, what? Like, high school band? Like, how have you guys not like broken up by this point? Well, I don't know. Like, when you're in high school, you're in a bit of a fishbowl, right? And you sort of gravitate towards people. Like, you don't get a whole lot of people to choose from to make your friends. And that sounds like I'm starting off by saying like, I actually hate my band. I'm really not saying that. I'm just saying I think we got pretty lucky with our fishbowl in particular, because
for sure,
while a lot of people have bad high school experiences, not really being able to relate to the people around them, and I fully resonate with that. I think we're pretty lucky to have met some very like-minded people, and we all just kind of have amalgamated into this awesome, diverse style of music that we're writing and putting out. So we don't plan on ending that anytime soon. So I guess we got lucky with our pick from high school.
It's so sick because like you've all had the opportunity to grow, like not only as people but as musicians and artists together.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We really do know the ins and outs of what each other, like how we work and how we've grown. We're all completely different people than when we first met. But the best part is we've seen that growth, and it's not like, I don't know, you know when you meet someone and you're hang on, when you've known someone for a while, and they grow into this awesome person or whatever, and I don't know, they like, you weren't really their friend in high school, but now they've changed, now you're friends or whatever. You think, oh, I really wouldn't have been friends with you back in high school, but now you're all right. It's kind of one of those scenarios, except I don't know, we all recognize each other as flawed human beings, and I don't know, it's just like your childhood best friends growing up, and
well, you've also had like
cute little stories.
For sure. You've also had like heaps of time to like know how to communicate with each other, because that's like such a hard thing of like coming into a band or starting a band with people you don't know, is like how to communicate with this person in particular or that person in particular.
That's exactly right. That's a very, very useful thing when you're starting to come into a business together and be working in a more professional sense. Having that communication skill is something that we're always learning and we're always improving, but it's something that, if anything, like this last year in particular has absolutely proven to us how important it is.
With like frustrations from like COVID and stuff, or like because of your new release?
I guess no, not so much the new release, just like we had to learn how to, as everyone did, we had to learn how to navigate communicating more in the online space versus being able to meet up together and have our meetings in person and have band prac and stuff like that. So I think that it was all about adapting, as it was for everybody. But yeah, it's just been a really, really valuable experience learning how to communicate properly, and still it's something that continues to grow as we go.
Yeah. And I think that's just like the general being in a band thing, like figuring out how to like communicate with each other, because everybody changes and people change their opinions and mind so much just on a daily, like let alone 4 or 5 people in one collective.
No, that's absolutely right. We all need to know how to do it. So yeah.
Sick. And I mean, I would ask what your first band name was, but I'm assuming that this is your first like band that you've been in.
No, well,
no, there was a pre-high school band.
No, there wasn't. We were we were the band, but I'm not saying Reliqa was our final name.
Okay.
Sick. I don't know. You can't see me right now, but I'm like, oh,
so good.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So, like, you know how you asked me when we started, right? Like, so you started in 2016.
Yeah.
Well, I said, well, technically yes, but we really came into it in 2017, 2018. That's when we started playing some bigger gigs, and I mean, not bigger, but more collaborating with other bands at our sort of
more
level,
scene shows.
I guess a little bit more in the scene and immersed into it rather than just one-offs here and there. So we branded ourselves Reliqa late 2017, and that then was tied with our first release, the Afterlight EP, in early 2018, which should have come out in 2017, but we sat on it for ages for some reason. But we were Rage Quit before that.
Rage Quit. Oh.
No, it's really bad. It's really bad. I'm just gonna put it out there. I never liked it ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just wanted to be part of something. I made it very clear that I didn't like it. We only played, I think, 2 shows, 2 really, really tiny shows. With that name, and one of them was like a battle of the bands, and we were just coming into our skin. We were just starting out. We just needed a little bit of experience. So like, I don't know. I laugh about it now. Like, we don't take ourselves so seriously. If there's one like piece of advice that I give myself every day, it's like, laugh at yourself, you know? Like have a laugh and don't take things so seriously, and life will feel so much happier. But basically what I'm saying is that that name was super cringe, but I am still thankful for the experiences we had under that name, and all the while as well we were thinking of a new one, but when we finally came into Reliqa, we were like, hell yeah, that's it. And then we got a logo done and everything, and it's sort of kicked off from there. That's sort of what I meant. Like, we sort of started in 2016, but no one knew who we were until 2018.
Okay, yeah. I reckon Rage Quit, if you stuck with that, could have worked out.
Agree to disagree on that one, mate. It's just, I don't know. It was just very high school. All the boys were really into gaming, and I was like,
right. As soon as you said Rage Quit, I was like, somebody was playing COD in high school.
That is genuinely it. You got it. It's no mystery, really.
Yeah. I wasn't a COD kid like growing up, but I definitely knew someone that was always Rage Quit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was like, shut up.
Yeah, I just sort of went along with it, really.
Sick. Well, you guys have a new release, The Bearer of Bad News, and do you want to talk about that a little bit, and like the writing process and like how long that's been in the works?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we actually we originally planned to have The Bearer of Bad News out in October last year. We had it. We had the single ready to go pretty much, and everything was looking pretty good. Obviously, it was another COVID release, like because we released our single Mr. Magic, the previous single in May of last year. So we knew we wanted to follow that up relatively quickly with another single, like to keep the momentum going. The strategy was there; it was pretty sound, but we're really thankful and grateful to say that Mr. Magic, even though we couldn't play any shows with it, because we had COVID, everything was going on with COVID, that really helped us branch out our connections a lot more when it came to the team that we were working with. Like, for example, we signed with Destroy All Lines agency for bookings immediately after Mr. Magic. So I'm getting to that. So basically, when we were preparing to release Bearer and we were coming up like probably a month away, it had been distributed and everything like that. We sort of began some proper consultations with our now managers, Chris and Josh at Open Door.
Sweet.
So yeah, it was really fantastic to get to know them around that time. So like we first spoke with them just after Magic, but then we began our conversation, like we retouched base around September when Bearer was done. We sent it over to them. They loved it, which was really cool. But essentially after we started speaking to them, they then had different plans when it came to releasing Bearer. And we were like, absolutely, let's sort of roll with that. So we pulled it, and we're really glad now that we did, because I don't know, it's just patience is a virtue, I guess.
Yeah.
And we had a lot more time to think about it, and we really planned the release quite well. I mean, it's not that we didn't before. It was going to be good before, but we've had a lot of changes to our personnel and things, and the more internal parts of our team recently. It's been a difficult year, but I guess all in all, Bearer has come out at the right time, and it seems to be received really well at the moment. So there's a bit of backstory for you. Like, it was going to come out a while ago. It's been written for a while, but this timeline makes a lot more sense. And now we've had a chance to record even more music, and then it's going to line up really well.
Excellent. Sick. So
at least.
Is Bearer going to be on like the next thing, like the next big thing you put out? Like if you're putting out an EP?
Yeah, we are putting out an EP next year. And yes, Bearer will be on that one.
Excellent.
Yeah, all the songs are fitting really well together. And I guess, delaying Bearer, again, that just gave us more of a chance to let it blend in really well with the music that was then coming up as well. So absolutely, I think it was the right choice. And I think if everyone really likes Bearer, then I'm pretty sure people are going to like what's coming as well. Although it's kind of funny. It's quite different, but it's consistent, I guess you could say. So
okay, cool. Instead of like how like other bands put out things and they're just trying to like broaden their musical horizons, is a lot like more of a consistent sound.
Well, it's definitely broadening horizons.
Okay.
I would say, like, I'm just thinking, it's pretty whack, but I really only say like it's consistent with Bearer, as in for fans of Bearer, you will enjoy this. But it's different at the same. I don't know. It's just us. Like, I have a really hard time comparing it to anything, really. And I don't say that to sound like a prick, being like, oh, we're so unique and so original. I'm genuinely just saying, like, I wish I could tell you who best to compare it to. I do. But I don't really know. Like, I guess, just take that with a grain of salt. Take it in Australia. I don't know.
I think it's sick. Like, I think it's a good fucking release. Like, it's a sick song. So I'm keen to see what comes next. I think it'll be rad.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
It's
I really do. I hope you enjoy the next stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's like we can get into this topic now, because I'm not sure if you've spoken about it like with other people. You said you're doing a bunch of interviews today, but like the come up of women in the heavy scene.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think that's like there was a time period where there were like barely any women in the scene, and it was just more like big bands had females in their bands. But now like local bands are like, females are sick. They can do everything fucking guys can do. get them out there. Like if they want to be in it, like let them in.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just a matter of everyone, like, I don't know, everyone deserves their opportunity.
For sure.
And I'm really encouraged to see more people of all genders coming up in the music scene. And yeah, like things are becoming more diverse, more inclusive, calling out other people's bullshit as well.
Yeah.
That's definitely an important part of the growth of the industry. And yeah, like I guess it gives aspiring women, for example, like young girls like me when I was 12 listening to Slipknot and Atreyu and whatnot. It gives them more people to look up to, and like you can never have too many inspirational people out there, because it just gives you more and more fuel to feed the fire of like being excited to come into this all-inclusive space, I guess. And I don't know, like if there's one thing that I think sets heavy music apart from other scenes, I guess, and other industries, like for example the pop industry, is I don't know, just that motto of if someone falls you pick them up, and being more very vulnerable and very open with emotions and things like that. And I think by extension, I don't think that heavy music should ever discriminate against people who want to give this career their best shot. So yeah, absolutely, it definitely inspires me to see more females to the front, giving just injecting this scene with the life and the diversity that it should have always had, but more and more every day. And I just I'm all about it. It's a hard topic to talk about, because to me, I'll be honest with you, to me it's just what it is. Because I don't know, speaking as a woman myself, I've just always been here, and I have never really questioned that, I think. So, but being critical of it on a general perspective, it has not always been this way. And I think that seeing more and more gender diverse people up on the big stages is only going to be an absolutely excellent thing and an asset to the industry. I think the only the only other thing I think I can contribute to this, like if I'm thinking back to when I was first coming into it, and there were a lot of just these blokey, like big chungus males like stomping around the little pub stages and stuff. And this person in the back of the venue just being like, I don't know about this, but like I was really into it at the time. I think that it has taken me a while to really come into my womanhood as a member of the heavy music industry. I don't know, when I was 16, 17, starting to go to shows, being more involved, I used to, wear exclusively men's clothes, the baggiest jeans, the baggiest shirts. I wouldn't like to be singled out as a female, because I guess you just think you think of yourself as just, you want to blend in and you want to be part of something. I only realized this very recently when I was reflecting on it. And I think someone asked me a similar question about like, how do you feel about like women's place in the industry and things like that. I just realized that it's only been very recently that I have felt like, hell yeah, I'm a fucking woman. Like, hell yeah, I'm doing this. Like, previously I was like, just like, I remember people would call me the front woman of Reliqa, and I'd be like, no, it's front man. I'm a front man. I mean, almost in a sense of protest, like actor versus actress. It's like, no, that should just be a front person, like very gender neutral.
Or vocalist, or I use that term.
Yeah,
I'm just like
yeah.
the vocalist of this band or the guitar player from this band.
Yeah. But I guess I'm very recently starting to reclaim that term. Not just
Okay.
front woman, but just being a woman in general.
Yeah.
Because why should that be something to hide? I don't know. I think it should be something to celebrate, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big, long-winded reflection, I guess. Thank you for challenging me, because
I didn't even mean the challenge.
no, but in a good way. It's good. It makes me think. Like, my brain is ticking over time.
Okay.
Like trying to figure out the best way to answer that. But generally I'm pretty like I'm pretty I'm just beyond stoked that it's becoming more and more inclusive every day. That is my bottom line.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was a kid, like, I'd be discovering music through LimeWire and like Metal Hammer magazine and seeing like the keyboard player from Bleeding Through was a female, and I was like, that's so sick. And then like
right on.
Lacuna Coil, Within Temptation, Arch Enemy, like all female fronted bands that are like so sick, but like you have to dig deep in. Yeah. And then like Hayley Williams, obviously like the most prominent and mainstream female front person of a alternative band.
Mm-hmm.
And now people like Courtney LaPlante of Spirit Box and I Wrestled a Bear Once, like just blowing doors wide open of like, not only like are females in the scene now, they're like taking the place that they should be taking, like not because of gender, because they're just a good band.
Yeah, it's just a lot of the time, it's just there are so many talented, incredible people out there. You just got to look for them, you know. And that whole time that we were talking about this, I was thinking about Courtney. Courtney is the prime example of how it should be, you know. Like, she is absolutely killing it, and their band deserves so much recognition.
And I just because
love her. No, absolutely not. Like, it should not be a factor in it's
kind of like a double-edged sword. Like it's sick. Like it's sick as like a representation of female in heavy music, but they're not big just because she's a female. They're big because they grind so hard.
That's right. I think it's just a matter of gatekeepers can fuck off. That's pretty much it. Like, just like the scene is cooking. You're just not looking. You know what I mean? Like, that's right.
Yeah, I have no time for that gatekeeper mentality of like, no girls allowed, the impress me bro bullshit.
I don't even know if I know anyone like that anymore. I think that's why it was so hard to answer the question, because it's just such a normal thing. Like,
I think there's still some getting around.
And I'm so lucky to be able to say that.
I
just don't associate with them.
Yeah, exactly. You can spot them out and you're just like, nah, I don't fuck with you like at all.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, it's sick. It's excellent to see. Like, because as heavy music basis is it's against societal norms, and in like the 60s, 50s, 40s, a societal norm was like women were lower than men. But like as heavy music's progressed, it's like sort of kept that societal norm.
Yeah.
Until like recently.
Yeah, well, I think it's a difficult conversation to engage with, because I feel like a lot of that mentality comes from, you're right, like older generations thinking, oh, you know, like heavy music, it's just for men only. But like,
it's not.
These days, I think that's why I had to think so hard, because this is just what we do, and we fucking kill it. And every year you're seeing more and more gender diverse lineups, and it starts to just become what we do. So I'm all and I applaud that, and I'm so happy and so thankful that that's what's happening, that we're only going in a good direction when it comes to diversity. I think
for sure.
Maybe I'm just being optimistic, but that's the way I see it.
I think now with like the way people are, where people are aware of like, hey, that mentality was fucked up, let's change that. I think that is only going to grow from here.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, like calling people out for their bullshit. Like we don't take we don't take misogyny anymore. No one tolerates intolerance anymore.
Yeah. So, which is sick.
Yeah.
Big fan. Cool. Well, do you want to get into like the meaning behind the lyrics of Bearer?
All right, that's a big one.
Is it? Sick.
Well, I don't know. Like, yeah, I've had this question a few times in the
Okay.
last few days. Not so much just the lyrics, but just the song in general. The A big theme of the music that we're doing at the moment comes down to like dynamics of power. I don't know. I would call it somewhat politically charged because I do try to engage myself in political conversations when
Okay.
necessary.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say they're outwardly political. I think that's more of an implied, like an implicit thing.
Okay.
For example, when we put out Mr. Magic, that song was quite quite directed towards, well, Scott Morrison. We can't there you go, there's the elephant in the room. It was talking about Scott Morrison. But like moving on to the newer material, Bearer, etc. It definitely still has that theme of power and how it can be corrupted through you know, the pursuit of power can be a very dangerous thing, can spiral out of control. But yeah, this one is a lot more like I think that the best way I can put it is Bearer was probably my last, not opportunity, but the last opportunity I would give myself to write from someone else's perspective and not my own.
Okay.
So the lyrics aren't that personal. I mean, of course that they mean a lot to me, but I'm sort of telling a bit more of a story, like a narrative in that song. It's it has to do with like manipulation and very it's quite a mysterious song, I guess, if we're talking lyrically. The whole song tells the story of like this higher being kind of pretty much preying on the vulnerability of someone more vulnerable, or someone more coming into their being, like, I don't know, someone more naive, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And pretty much manipulating them into chasing power like they are. Like there's this lyric, be endless like I am. Like, come on, you know, you want it. Look how, like, look what I've got. Look at the riches and the fame and the fortune and whatever. And so and then it pretty much spirals out of control. So
almost like corrupting a naive mind.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I would say that that's probably the best way to put it. But yeah, like I said, it doesn't necessarily come from a personal place. Although I could, if I dig right down, I'm sure that it comes from somewhere. Like it has to come from somewhere. But for example, for a lot of our earlier material, I found it a lot easier to write lyrics that were kind of just more story based, more narrative based. For example, I'm an English major at university, so I don't know, I have a lot of fun writing stories and things that. But for our newer material, like Bearer onwards, or at least like the newer material even so than Bearer, because Bearer was written like last year. But I have made it a conscious effort to look inward and think introspectively, and start to do what other people do and write about themselves and their experiences and their feelings and their trials and tribulations. And it has been so difficult. Like, I have so much respect for pretty much every artist who has ever written a thing about themselves. Or something really close to them that's meaningful. And that's most of the music that I listen to. So it's like, how do these people do it? I don't know. Like, it's the hardest thing to evaluate your own self, to look in the mirror and be like, what is this? What are you? So I have had a lot of fun and a lot of it's been a really rewarding and cathartic, but also very challenging experience to write introspectively. So I guess we'll see how that goes. And I'm really nervous. Like I've got this different kind of nervous energy to start putting that music out that more than I've ever had for any previous release. I mean, of course, you've got that nervous energy for every release, and you're so attached to it. Like, I'm attached to all of our music, but the newer stuff is going to be going to feel a bit more vulnerable to put out there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it'll be sick. And it like ties back to the very beginning of this conversation of like just the being vulnerable in heavy music is what got you in, and now that's where you're taking your music.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I think that I not owe it to, but I feel like it's a bit of a tribute to the bands that have brought me to where I am. They all have this incredibly cathartic and vulnerable and personal outlook on the music that they put out. And I think that it was due time for me to give that a go. So the new music deals a lot with identity and coming into yourself and starting to feel like an individual, or lack thereof, really. So it's all of that fun stuff.
I think that's powerful stuff. That's sick. And it's like being super real with like how you feel and like projecting that out there. Because I know for me personally, like with my band, I've recently written a song, like everything, like guitars, drums, lyrics. And as soon as I finished it and we played it live for the first time, I was like, I can now move on from the situation that this song's about. And it just like released all of that for me.
That's such an incredible experience. And to be honest, I've never played any of these songs live before. I'm actually, I'm gonna take what you just said, and I'm gonna think about it when we first have the opportunity to play our new stuff live. I'm gonna really try and sink into it. And I mean, I'm scared as hell, like, if I'm being honest, to like we've had the songs for a while, but they haven't been ready to come into our new sets yet. But I imagine that our future sets will definitely involve them. So, that's a bomb you just dropped, man. Like you can move on from something after you put it out into the world. So
I didn't expect it.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes down.
I hope it happens. Like for anybody that can like get that off their chest.
Yeah. Well, I'm really happy for you that you were able to have that experience.
Thanks. You can't see. There's no like video, but I gave a little thumbs up. I was like, thanks.
Oh, very nice.
Cool. Well, we've been going for a while. This has been a sick conversation.
Oh, yes, it absolutely has.
It's been great. So we'll get into your top 5 bands. Like I'll let you know in the very beginning.
All right.
And then hit socials and we'll shut it down.
Okay. We're whipping out the Spotify. I'm just going to go straight to the Wrapped. Okay. Right. Top band that I'm listening to right now that I absolutely love is Deadlights.
Deadlights. Fuck yeah. They're so sick.
Their latest album that came out earlier this year called The Uncanny Valley. It is incredible. And I am really like surprised that they haven't got more attention. I mean, it's been going really well for them, which I'm stoked about. But they're just incredible. Like that album, it explores like it's very technological, and it explores kind of the it's very political. It explores the end of the world, I guess. Like it's very very doomy and gloomy. It's hit a nerve, and they are just they're really doing it for me at the moment.
I think when they like are able to get out on the road like fully, because they're from like up here, like they will go crazy when they get the chance to go out.
I'm pretty sure they're about to tour with Polaris, and they're touring with Void of Vision.
Yeah, that'll go crazy for them.
Yep. So I'm so excited for them to blow up. I absolutely love them.
Oh, and they've got that Die Art run as well.
Yes, that's right. That was pretty recent.
They got so many sick shows coming up.
I haven't seen them live yet, and I am dying to. I can't wait to see them. I think
the last time I saw them live was Stray from the Path, Kubla Khan, Deadlights, and She Cries Wolf.
Wow, that's a stacked lineup.
Yeah, at Brightside, it was fucking mental.
That's awesome. I'm pretty sure I remember them touring Mesmer, their previous album. and they came to this tiny local venue in my hometown. Because I don't live in Sydney, I live on the Central Coast, but it's pretty much Sydney. But they played this tiny little matchbox of a venue.
That's
and
so sick.
I didn't go. I'm pretty sure I couldn't go. Like there was I was like out of the state or something like that. But I remember thinking, fuck. Especially now that I've really discovered them and I've listened to their latest album, I'm like, far out. That would have been the best show. Like, why didn't I go?
Just a regret.
Yeah, exactly. Total regrets. Okay, sick. Is it 5? Is it 5 bands?
Yeah. We'll go 5. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm also loving Spirit Box. We already mentioned them, but their latest album is fantastic.
So good.
Let's think. Let's have a look. The new Thornhill song. I'm really digging Casanova, but like just Thornhill in general, like love them. We managed to play with them a couple of a small run of shows in April of this year. That was really fun. They are incredible live every single night. I asked Jacob, like, how do you do it, man? He was like, a nebulizer, and I was like, fuck, okay, I need a nebulizer. I've got a little steam inhaler, but it's no nebulizer. So okay. All right.
Sick.
That's 3. Ocean Grove.
The best.
Love Ocean
Grove.
So
good. Do you like New Ocean Grove? Because
I like New Ocean Grove.
Okay. I don't mind New Ocean Grove, but Black Label is like my shit.
Totally fair. Totally. Yeah. And I do love the old stuff. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about Flip Phone Fantasy and Cali Sun and the new stuff that they're putting out that's just so sparkly and fresh. And, exciting to me.
Big riffs on there.
Yeah, that's
huge
right.
Huge riffs.
It's so huge. So I'm really excited to play with Ocean Grove next year for Monolith Festival. It's gonna be really cool. That's 4. I'll stick to something heavy. I'm actually loving Stand Atlantic at the moment. They're
sick.
Their latest single, Molotov. I love it. It's on repeat. It's really short though, which is really annoying. But Stand Atlantic. I'm not a big pop punk gal, but again, real sparkly, real fresh, just like Ocean Grove. I love the bands that can do something new. So I guess those are my 5.
Sweet. And then we'll get into socials and plug the upcoming shows in March.
Woohoo! Okay, so you said socials. We're pretty much Reliqa band everywhere.
Excellent.
And so just find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those fun things. Not TikTok yet.
TikTok is so hard.
Maybe one of these days. And so next year, we'll be playing Full Tilt Festival, both Brisbane and Sydney. And we just announced Monolith Festival, which is a national tour with Carnival, Ocean Grove, Sleep Makes Waves. Like, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's all we've got at the moment. But grab tickets. We'll see you out there. I'm really excited.
Sick. Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for doing the podcast.
Anytime. It's my pleasure.
Excellent. Done for another week. Really fucking cool person. Really cool band. And you can check them out this month. It's the 2nd today, but on the 8th, you can check them out fucking real soon at Full Tilt Brisbane, January 8th, 2022 at fucking Eaton's Hill Outdoors in Brisbane. Eaton's Hill is a motherfucker of a venue. So sick. And then on February 26, 2022, Bella Vista Farm, Sydney. That is for Full Tilt Festival. Go check them out. They're fucking rad. And then they've also, we spoke about it in the podcast, they're on the Monolith Tour, which is a fucking stacked lineup. Carnival, Cog, Ocean Grove, Pliny, Sleep Makes Waves, Reliqa, and Yomi Ship. Fucking so sick. That is fucking killer. And that kicks off on the 12th of March in Sydney at Bella Vista Farm, running all the way through to the 9th of April in Western Australia, Perth at the Red Hill Auditorium. Also, there are the Brisbane and Melbourne dates of the 19th of March at Eaton's Hill Outdoors, Brisbane, and Saturday the 2nd of April at Reunion Park, Melbourne. Go check them out. Check out their fucking singles, The Bearer of Bad News, Mr. Magic, and also their full-length album of Eventide. And if you can check out their shit as Rage Quit, fucking do that too. But hit them up on all social media platforms at Reliqa. Listen to them wherever you listen to music. And if you like what I'm doing over here with the podcast, fucking please share it. Tell a friend, subscribe, follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Podcasts, wherever the fuck you listen to podcasts. Please, because I do this for literally nothing. I'll straight up, I'll be fucking real. I've had advertisers on this podcast. I have been paid a whole $4 for doing this podcast. And it's not about money. It's not about money, because I do this podcast specifically for the music scene, to build up bands throughout the country, to give bands exposure to people that may not have heard them before. And all I ask in return is to share the pod. If you like what I'm doing, give it a share. Tell someone about it. Or if you have a band that you want to hear on it, let me know. I'll try and get in contact with them. Let them know. Hopefully they'll try and get in contact with me. And we'll fucking do this together. We'll fucking build this up. But fucking get the word out. And also, I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Heavy Sweater Podcast on both. Heavy Sweater Podcast on YouTube. And sorry for the sad boy shit in the beginning. So check out Reliqa, check out Shotgun, check out every fucking episode of the podcast, check out every band on the podcast. All of them. Check them all out. Tell your friends, like, subscribe. Come back next week for a new episode. This is 2022 edition of fucking Heavy Sweater. Come back next week for a new episode. Thanks.